Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're back with another episode of Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to us by Otacat, and let's get going. So, she said she kind of threw on this bikini here just to cover up some nudity. You know, it's okay if you send me stuff with nudity in it. I mean, we're doing anatomy, so she's going to be kind of naked at the end anyway. But, just don't send me any, like, child nudity or anything that could be construed as child nudity, because then it's like, uh-oh, you know. So, she, or he, I'm not sure who this person is. I think it's a girl. I can't remember now. They told me that they got the pose from Pose Maniacs, but it still felt a little flat. To be honest, or a little stiff, I should say. Pose Maniacs is a really good site, but I do think their poses are kind of stiff. They're more like for, in my opinion, they're less for poses and more for like, oh, that's how that muscle looks, kinda, when you move your arm this way or something. They're not as good for the posy stuff. However, they do have a hand viewer. I forget where it is on their site. Like, I have it bookmarked, so I just go right to the hand viewer. But their hand viewer is pretty good. I use that pretty frequently for hand poses and stuff. I think one of the problems with Pose Maniacs is that their models don't have any flesh or fat or anything. They're just, it's just skinned down to the muscle. So nothing like really bends or moves or molds, you know. Okay, so here I've just added a little more of a pinch, a little more skin, and I've moved her belly button up to where it should be. The belly button doesn't sit quite so low on, I think this is where you were intending the belly button to be, if they have a belly button. They're kind of like an elf thing. I don't know if they like hatch from eggs or something, but if there is a belly button, this is about where it would go. And this line, this midline would follow right down to the vaginal crease, so her vagina would be like right there. You couldn't see that much of it because the leg's in the way. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a line here to indicate where the flesh would be hitting. Okay, so what I've done is I've kind of gone to the back of the head. So the back of the head would be, or I should say where the head connects to the neck, and I've kind of just moved forward a little bit and dropped a plumb line. Actually more from like the ear. Okay, forget the back of the head thing. Think of it more from like the ear. I've dropped a plumb line down. Like that. To kind of figure out where her center of balance is sitting. So it would be here, or if you went back into the picture more, it would be like there. Okay? So now I'm kind of debating how far, because this hand is, this is too long, I think. I'm not positive though, but kind of just eyeballing it, it looks too long. So I think if we're like thinking that the main part of her tush is resting somewhere there, and and they're sharing the weight of the whole body, then her wrist would probably come down there about equal, or not her wrist, but her arm, like her hand would be starting right there to kind of hold that weight. So we'll put a little X there and come back to it. Okay, and then let's do Now, I tend to go a little overboard on my curviness. I just like girls who have lots of little curves and things going on. If you want like a more straight-legged look, just, you know, plane those thighs down, and that will give you what you're looking for. Now, I realize probably on the Posomaniacs, this foot was maybe looking this short because it was probably sitting back more in perspective, but sort of the way you've had her have her drawn here, this leg seems to be coming more perpendicular to the viewer. Is that right? No, parallel. Parallel to the viewer. Sorry. I haven't had my lunch yet, so I'm a little lightheaded. Okay, so we're just going to lengthen the calf down to the ankle. So now her foot is going to be out a little more, but that's okay. We'll get there. So in turn, this leg just needs to be a little longer so that the knees match up more. In fact, yeah, I could even move this up a little bit. I think that looks decent-ish. So right here, this is kind of, I say kind of because it's not exactly, but this is about where your pelvic wings would be on the inside of the body, and that this is also part of the whole leg joint. Like if you look at a Barbie doll, their legs actually extend like way up into this kind of like bow shape on the body. So depending on the kind of person you are, sometimes there's a little wrinkle there. So there's that wrinkle. I make it sound like, you know, depending on the kind of person you are, like if you give enough to charity, you'll have that wrinkle. So anyway, now I think I'm going to do my usual song and dance of going over the arm raw and then just kind of shimmying it into place. I'm just thinking here, I'm kind of measuring my own arm against my body. Also, if you hear any like grinding or clacking in the background, my dog got a new bone, like an antler, and she's been going to town on it for a while now. And I don't have the heart to take it away from her while I'm recording. Okay, that feels a little better. See, the other thing that's throwing me off is a human, like when you're standing up straight, you know, up and down, so like we'll just make it a girl since we're doing a girl. So there's the hips, and you know, coming down into your vagina and your legs. Whatever. Okay. So shoulder, and your elbow falls a little bit. Not always, you know, it varies on different people, but it usually falls kind of around like the top of your pelvic arch, like right there. And then your hands fall right above mid-thigh. And I'm looking at this and I'm trying to think, what am I doing wrong here? Like, it feels... Maybe it's the perspective, I'm not sure. But maybe she just has a really long torso. Let's try sinking it a little lower, but still keeping the arm closer to the body. I mean, also kind of, I think what's throwing me off is her shoulders are tilted. She's in a little bit of her own contrapposto. So, and rather than having, is that even, yeah, your thumb would be on the outside. Okay, it looks strange to me. Rather than having the hand like this, let's turn it and have it going into the background just a little bit. Would that be... It's just usually when I think of people kind of leaning on their hands to like stop themselves from falling over, it's a little more like it's behind them, but I guess hers, I guess hers is more out to the side, or would be. So look, never mind, let's just go with what you had. Shut up, Emmy. Shut up. I'm just roughing that out. Okay. So this is where her breasts would be. I'm just going to pick a boob and then work off of it. Okay, so there's one boob. And let's draw a line to indicate where the other would be. So this one is kind of high and like tucked up this way. So it would actually need to fall more like this, so that it would contour around the chest. I'm going to redraw my center line a little nicer there. Okay. And then her nipples would be, so probably like right there and right there. Okay. My dog just walked out in the hallway and sneezed for some reason. Just trying to get this. Okay, so now we're going to draw a foot from the top. It's pretty easy. Just imagine like she's wearing a shoe. It helps. Now I realize I'm probably like so far from the Postmaniacs model right now. I don't know like how closely you followed it though, so maybe I'm not too far, but it's always good that like once you use your reference to kind of put it away and start molding it into something that that is, you know, your own. You know, because sometimes the nicest drawings aren't necessarily the most like on the mark, but they feel right because of like the rhythm of the lines and the way it's balanced out compositionally and everything. So, though in my opinion, you should always strive for really strong anatomy so that you can move from the anatomy into, you know, a really strong style, like a balanced, you know, character. Because I mean, like, look at the Adventure Time characters. They don't like really have anatomy at all, like a human would. But they do have their own anatomy, and it's believable because it's based on ours, and it's, you know, workable, I guess. I'm not, I hope I'm saying this correctly, you know. But, yeah. So here, rather than having the hand, which is kind of turning in a little bit, I mean, the hand is drawn nicely, so I wouldn't really, you know, in fact, let me just go and maybe take it. Maybe? If it'll let me? Come on. Let me slide my tolerance a little bit. I don't know why, but there we go. So let me just steal your hand real fast. And I'll just show you what I mean. I'll just move it. Okay. I might just move it a little bit, is what I'm saying. Yeah, get out of here. And I just realized I kind of made this hand huge. I apologize. What's my time? Oh wow, I still got a lot of time. Okay, I don't know why, but I thought I was like racing the clock there for a minute. I might even with this hand, hold on. I'm going to work on it a little bit without the original below it, just so I can have a little bit of freedom here. Quit tying me down, you guys. Okay. So maybe even having the hand like more loose like that is an idea, and more like turned, even more turned like upwards. It's always a little harder to kind of explain what I'm trying to do and draw at the same time. Or even straightening this whole arm out might be interesting. That could be another thing, but I don't want to move it too far off of what you were trying to do here. I'm just worried that I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, now that if I was going to draw this, I would probably get rid of this arm to like leave this nice, like leave the negative space of her body a little more open, and just, you know, have it more like that, more flowy with that outer arm. But the power is yours, so you can do it as you like. Also, I think maybe moving this down a little bit would help it feel like her torso feels just a teens long, but you know. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So one of the things that Odacat was worried about was the profile on the face, but I actually think this is just fine. I'm not really gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna outline the part that's in the hair. I mean, I really didn't see a big problem with it. Maybe, gosh, I don't even know. Yeah, no, I think this is fine. I was worried at first you might have too long of a neck, but then I thought, well, if you just kind of bulk this little tendon up here, then it doesn't look that long at all. So, well, I know it's going to be my thumbnail for this car. That's the only part I really worked on, but yeah, no, I think the head's fine. I wouldn't worry about that at all. Just make sure that the hair doesn't fall too straight. Make sure it still follows the contours of the body. And I'm not talking about whether it's wavy or straight, as in like the hair itself. I'm talking about how it falls, not, you know, the composition of the hair itself. So just make sure it follows, you know, over the shoulders a little more and things like that. Follows around the head. So, okay. Actually, I think the only thing about the head I'd say is maybe make either the head a little bigger or the body a little smaller. Whatever you would choose. I just think the head's a teeny tiny bit too small. Yeah, I think maybe make the head a little bigger is all. Kind of gave her a man hand over here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Psst, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't draw chunky, ungraceful Emmy hands. Okay, so that's let me see here. Let me put mine in its own folder. Don't look at mine, I'm just roughing this out real quick. For my own curiosity's sake. Yeah, I think moving the shoulders down a little bit might help, and just making the head a teeny tiny bit bigger. Maybe not that big though. It's always a little hard to work on something when there's another drawing underneath. I usually have to turn layers on and off. That's kind of the nice thing about working on a computer, is you have the ease of adjusting your drawings, you know, as you go. I've sort of taken away some of her sleekness, but I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. It's more of like a preference thing. But like I said, if you don't like, if you feel like I've bulked her up too much, just kind of smooth everything back down. Just like wax. So, okay, I think that'll do it for today. I think we went over like a lot of nice little things, and I love drawing girls and love their bellies, but I'm kind of a horn dog. But anyway, yeah, cool. I'll see you guys later, alright? Bye!